When Morathi-Khaine ascended to godhood, all in the mortal realms took note. Claiming the power granted to her by the worshippers of Khaine, Morathi has set her own plans in motion. When the Seraphon realize they may have been fooled by the High Oracle of Khaine, the slann starmasters summon an army of Dracothian's finest warriors to confront her. Will the Matriarch of Khaine finally have her plans revealed? Or might the power of the Old Ones not be enough to face this newly ascended god?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Season of War. We got Oliver back on the channel.
Very excited.
Yeah,
this is great.
Oliver's wearing the button up. Not me today. I'm not. Wasn't working before I came, so.
You do what you can, and Ridge is supporting the hat meta as usual. I'm a flip flop on the hat meta.
Yeah,
so.
We all know the hats make you roll better priorities. So.
And speaking of rolling better priorities, Ridge has got some fancy new Season of War dice,
yes,
which I'm sure you'll see.
We finally got some team dice in with Season of War. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, today we're playing Survival of the Fittest. So one of the interesting ones, it is the one where you pick 3 predators, and your opponent picks 3 predators. You get an extra point for killing a predator with a predator unit. Scoring is score 1, score 2, score more. So the classic, kind of notable just with, so I'm running Dracothian's Tail, so I have some things in the sky. You can't actually pick those. So just a small thing, when you're making lists for tournaments, and if that's in the pack, you might not want to take ones that you have units in reserve.
Yeah, lots of interesting list tech with this game because like the ones in the sky, you also have characters like Morathi where there's 2 bodies.
Yep.
So if I were to choose both Morathis, we determined before this game that if you killed one of them with a predator unit, you would actually get points for killing both of them if they were both selected as the predators.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind if you are Daughters of Khaine. I'm a pretty niche case, but
yeah, it'd be weird what a TO would rule there. It's kind of strange to think about. But yeah, another kind of weird interaction. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Printable Scenery. As always, we have our beautiful Gur table here, lots of mushrooms and other fun stuff. And if you guys notice, this is a matchup that was chosen by the premium members. So, like we always say, they get to pick a lot of different matchups and usually pick some of the more competitive or interesting ones and find. So this one should be fun, 2 big armies in the meta, kind of, Daughters of Khaine and Seraphon.
So thanks for choosing a chance for Ridge and I to play together. This is really exciting.
Yeah, and you play Giants as well, which is also, I guess, another big one. They've been doing really well.
They've been coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also, as you guys probably have heard, we are doing 2 battle reports a week now. So if you guys wanted to join, one of them is every Monday, and that just comes out normally. And then we do have one for premium members. So very easy. You can just hit the join button below and find out more details on that.
And it's double the content. Why not?
Double the content. So yeah, I guess we'll just jump into army lists. Oliver, what are you bringing today?
Today I'm running Daughters of Khaine Calibron, Morathi-Khaine, and the Shadow Queen being a staple here.
Yep.
I have the 2 Bloodrack Medusas. The one with the little blue on her spear is my general, who is -1 to hit in combat as well as shooting,
nice.
Which is army-wide. My Calibron army -1 to shooting,
yeah.
And I get the teleport from my general as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's at the end of the movement phase. For battle line units, I have a unit of 10 Blood Sisters. I have a unit of 20 Sisters of Slaughter, a unit of 10 Witches, and then a unit of 10 Bow Snakes. And then rounding that out, I also have a unit of 5 of the Life Takers, the Combat Kunai.
Yep.
So
don't leave home without them.
Don't leave home without them. There's too good. Yeah. So that's all wrapped up into the Command Entourage and
yep.
the Battle Regiment. So
yes.
It's a 4-drop list, meaning that we were tied after deployment was said and done.
Yes, very common, like we say. You're usually going to see the 4-drop or the 5-drop with the Warlord or your 1-drop Battle Regiment. So interesting here, yeah. You won the roll-off, so you're going to get to decide.
Yeah.
So I'll just go through my army quick. So I've been fiddling around, as most of you know probably, Dracothian's Tail, Fangs. So this is a Dracothian's Tail list. So what I'm running is the Slann is a general with the reroll, cast, and unbind. I think it's called Arcane Might. And then he also has the Gabi's Pendant, so pretty much like the Phoenix Stone. Then I have the Skink Chief on Stegadon with the Amulet of Destiny. And then a Skink Priest, a Skink Star Priest, and a Skink Star Seer. And then I have, Oliver was nice enough to loan me a Knight of Zeros, which I've talked about. I kind of want to get one, waiting for the new Stormcast book to see if they still keep that ability to reroll ones to hit.
Reroll ones, so good.
Yeah, stonks nowadays. So yeah, and then I have a unit of 10 skinks, a unit of 30 skinks, and a unit of 5 source guard as battle line, and then I have 2 units of 2 salamanders.
And if you can't see Ridge's army, it's all hiding behind the temple.
Exactly. So one of the beautiful things they have changed with the Realm Shaper engine is now I can actually pick it here and hide from your stupid bow snakes. But me playing Seraphon saying that is also kind of funny, but...
and nobody in the temple, right?
There's no one in the temple. You deployed Morathi in a nice position there. So I didn't put anything in the temple. But it will be interesting. So we both have a lot of teleports, well, a teleport, and, you know, some shooting threats. So yeah, I guess with that, you can, it's up to you, my friend.
So after a point of reflection here, I was humming and hawing, but I am going to give Ridge first turn.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to go into Seraphon turn 1.
Here we go.
The Seraphon battle tactic is broken ranks. The Skink Priest on Stegadon and Bloodrack Medusa both fail heroic leadership. The active asterism is the Sage's Staff on the Slann. The Slann generates 1 celestial conjuration point and withholds a spell for 3 additional. The Skink Priest uses his Starstone Staff on the Stegadon. The Skink Star Priest uses his Serpent Staff on the Skinks. The Slann casts Comet's Call, dealing 2 mortal wounds in total. The Slann casts the Chronomatic Cogs and decreases the flow of time. The Skink Priest uses Herald of the Old Ones on the Salamanders. The Skink Star Priest casts Hand of Glory onto the Salamanders. The Skink Star Priest casts Mystic Shield onto the Salamanders. The Slann then miscasts Arcane Bolt, uses Ancient Knowledge to re-roll, but miscasts again, dealing 1 wound to himself and killing a Saurus Guard. At the end of the movement phase, the Salamanders and Skinks Starseer Deep Strike. The Salamanders teleport using Lords of Space and Time. In the shooting phase, the Salamanders kill only 1 Bloodstalker. The other Salamanders kill 2 Sisters of Slaughter. The Skink Chief on Stegadon finishes off a unit of Sisters of Slaughter. In the charge phase, the Starseer uses the Astromancer's Staff on the Salamanders. The Bloodstalkers unleash Hell onto the Salamanders, dealing 5 damage. In the combat phase, the Salamanders kill 2 Kinnerai. The Bloodrack Medusa deals 3 damage to the Salamander unit. The Salamanders kill 4 Bloodstalkers. The Bloodstalkers kill a Salamander. The Kinnerai deal 1 wound to the Salamander unit. In the Battle Shock phase, the lone Salamander flees. The Bloodstalkers use Inspiring Presence. The Seraphon hold 2 objectives and complete their battle tactic with a monster, scoring 6 points.
All right, so back from Seraphon turn 1, a lot of things happening. I just had so many things going in my brain. Was, thinking I was going to teleport the skinks, and then I was like, no, I think I'll teleport the sallies. So I buffed up the sallies, thinking they were going to go back here. But in my brain, for some reason, I was thinking the skinks were going to come in here. Mm-hmm. A lot of things going on. So I ended up at the end of the day teleporting the salamanders back here to try to deal with the bow snakes, do as much damage as I could. And then I dropped down the sallies here to kill the unit of 10, which was the unit that I needed to kill. If the sallies didn't do it, then obviously with 10 as well. I was thinking about charging into the 20 pack, but for some reason I wasn't thinking of Unleash Hell. So obviously your bow snakes were perfectly 9 to all of the, if I charge these or charge the 20 pack. So I pivoted, charged over with the 3d6 from the Starseer to the Kinnerai, killed 2 of them, which is hilarious that 2 salamanders just whiffed.
A little
heavy.
lackluster.
Yeah, absolutely. But
wish that happened here.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And then I ended up making the charge over there, getting them in. Your Unleash Hell you did on them, which I did the math and I was like, it's better that I don't, because you're just going to hero phase shoot them off.
Yeah.
So I did do the charge, and then I think I killed like 4 or so.
4 more on the
in
charge.
combat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Hindsight, it's like definitely didn't need to do all these moves, and I just always play so aggressive, and it's like I probably could have stayed back a little bit and not done any of that. End of the day, yeah, it was a lot of just things going on, and I just, I play Fangs so much, and I've played Fangs so much that I'm just so used to, a lot of their mechanics and not Dracothian, so it's like, I just feel like a lot of things is going on. So, playing it more, that's getting the reps in, that's kind of where you get going with it. But yeah, with that, I guess we're just going to go into Daughters of Khaine, bottom of 1.
Let's do it.
The Daughters of Khaine battle tactic is Conquer. The Medusa fails heroic leadership, and the Stegodon uses their finest hour. The Bloodstalkers use Rally, but return no models. In the hero phase, the Medusa fails to cast the Withering. Morathi casts Mind Razor, but is unbound. Morathi casts Black Horror of Ilgu, but is unbound. The other Medusa casts Mirror Dance, teleporting the Shadow Queen and also herself. Morathi uses Worship through Bloodshed, allowing the Bloodstalkers to shoot in the hero phase, dealing 5 damage to the Salamanders. Morathi then casts Mystic Shield but is again unbound. The Skink Chief on Stegodon uses Redeploy, moving 5 inches. In the shooting phase, the Bloodstalkers deal 3 damage to the Salamanders. Morathi fails to wound the Star Priest. In the charge phase, the Shadow Queen and the Sisters of Slaughter both fail their charges. In the combat phase, the Medusa kills the single Salamander. The Daughters of Khaine hold 2 objectives and complete their battle tactic, scoring 5 points.
All right, so bottom of turn 1, and Daughters of Khaine have struck back a little bit here. Wasn't able to get anything off in the hero phase, or able to rally any more snakes back from the dead.
Yeah.
But was able to get a little cheeky teleport with the Mirror Dance spell.
The one spell you got off is one that somewhat mattered.
Yeah, and I almost debated putting Morathi in the back to try and go in for the slann and the other characters, but kind of puts her out of position for the future. So
yeah.
I think it was the better call in retrospect.
I agree.
And other than that, was able to finish off the sallies over here between a charge in with the Medusa hero and the shooting, and which I had to use my CP for in the hero phase, and then just moved up onto the objectives. Nothing significant other than Ridge doing a nice redeploy that made it just out when I rolled a 9-inch charge.
So you ran them, you were just outside of the 6 inches for the 6-inch pile-in, meaning that you were going to charge, but they have a run and charge. Yeah. So then I did a redeploy, I rolled a 5, so I was able to get them back. I think it was a 9 or
it's 10 inches
or
away.
10. Yeah, so you needed a pretty big charge, which that's kind of the reason. I did best day ever on them just because, in case you did get in with either of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a good position. It seems crazy. We're going into turn 2 with a lot of models still on.
And Morathi's only taken 1 so far, so she has a chance to actually hopefully stick around for a little bit longer,
yes.
which could be quite valuable.
Yeah, the clock has barely begun. So yeah, this is going to be a massive
interesting priority roll.
Yeah, I'm debating do I want to use one of these new dice? They've been rolling crap already.
I feel like they'll be lucky for you.
No, I'm going to the old orange.
Golden old school. Okay,
the old orange casting dice.
I got a 3, and you got your 6. There's no beating that.
Yep, I think this one's easy. We're going to go into Seraphon turn 2.
All right, let's do it.
The Seraphon battle tactic is aggressive expansion. The Skink Chief on Stegadon and Morathi both fail heroic leadership. The Slann, Starseer, and Star Priest generate 1 extra command point. The Slann generates 1 celestial conjuration point and withholds a spell for another 2. The active asterism is still the Sage's Staff on the Slann. The Skink Star Priest uses his Starstone Staff on the Stegadon. The Skink Star Priest uses his Serpent Staff on the Skinks. The Skink Priest uses Herald of the Old Ones on the Skinks. The Slann casts Comet's Call, dealing 5 mortal wounds in total, 3 of which to Morathi. The Skink Star Priest casts Blazing Starlight on Morathi. The Skink Starseer casts Control Fate onto the Stegadon. The Slann casts Mystic Shield but is unbound. The Skink Star Priest casts Hand of Glory on the Skinks. The Slann then casts Stellar Tempest, dealing 2 mortal wounds to the Sisters of Slaughter. In the movement phase, the Skinks use at the double. At the end of the movement phase, the Slann summons 10 more Skinks. Then, the 30 Skinks teleport using Lords of Space and Time. In the shooting phase, the Skinks kill 2 Sisters of Slaughter. The Starseer deals 2 wounds to the Medusa. The Stegadon does 1 wound to the Bloodstalkers. The Skinks use all-out attack, killing 2 Bloodstalkers and finish off the Kinnerai and the Medusa. In the charge phase, the Stegadon deals 3 mortal wounds on impact, and then roars at the Sisters of Slaughter. In the combat phase, the Stegadon finishes off the Sisters, but takes 2 mortal wounds from their bladed bucklers. The Seraphon end their turn holding 2 objectives and complete their battle tactic scoring 5 points.
Okay, back from Seraphon, turn 2. Pretty effective turn for what I was trying to do. So I did aggressive expansion. So taking these 2 points that weren't in my territory.
Which you got?
Which I got, yeah. It was all but just killing the 20 there. A few different things. I wanted to try to kill as many of the bow sinks as I could. I wasn't able to teleport these guys outside of 9 and within 16. I got 10 of them inside, so I got 20 shots. Did a bit of damage there for sure, but the Azeroth, just awesome. Like I haven't actually used him before, but I've thought of using him in lists like this. Just the reroll once to hit is great. I did get Hand of Glory off, which I've been just not getting that off constantly with the Star Priest. So when you don't get that off, just the reroll once to hit is just so amazing.
Yeah.
So just having that, even with the
it's
Staggy,
pretty big.
Like the Staggy in combat there, without the reroll once to hit, he wouldn't have done nearly that much damage.
For sure.
So yeah, he cleaned up the rest of them. So I was able to get the middle. Yeah. So I'm gonna score hold 1, hold 2, hold more for 3, and then my battle tactic for 2 more. So that's gonna put me up to 11. And your
scoring.
3 predators are still on the field, and my 1, 2, and my 1 predator died to battle shock. So I have the 2 of mine. So yeah, it's going to be 11-5.
And we will go into Daughters of Khaine turn 2.
The Daughters of Khaine battle tactic is Bring It Down. The Shadow Queen uses their finest hour, and the Skink Chief on Stegadon heals 2 wounds from heroic recovery. The Bloodstalkers use Rally, but again fail to bring back any models. Morathi casts Mind Razor on the Shadow Queen. Morathi fails to cast Mystic Shield. Morathi casts Black Horror of Ilgu, dealing 1 mortal wound to the Star Priest. The Medusa fails to cast Enfeebling Foe. At the end of the movement phase, the Bloodstalkers teleport using Masters of the Shadow Paths. In the shooting phase, the Bloodrack Medusa uses Bloodrack Stare, killing 2 skinks. The Shadow Queen shoots at the skinks, killing 6. The Bloodstalkers shoot at the skinks but deal no damage. At the end of the charge phase, Morathi uses Titanic Duel, and the Stegadon fails to roar. At the start of the combat phase, Morathi uses Pharaoh Roar, and the Stegadon uses Armored Crest against Morathi. Morathi deals 9 damage to the Stegadon, leaving him with 1 wound. The Stegadon kills 2 Blood Sisters. The Blood Sisters deal no damage to the Stegadon. Morathi-Khaine then finishes off the Stegadon. The Daughters of Khaine hold 2 objectives, score their battle tactic, and take down a monster for 6 points.
Okay, bottom of turn 2, and Daughters of Khaine have moved up on the board. Starting back in the hero phase, was able to actually get a few spells through. Most importantly, got Mind Razor on Morathi and buffed her up.
Yep.
I did a recovery or rally with the bow snakes.
Another big botch.
As you can see, there's only 2, so none of them felt like rejoining the battle, but that's okay.
Yep.
So I also got another Ezekiel's Black Horrors with Morathi, but didn't do too much
Rolled
there.
a 1, yeah.
Rolled a
just
1.
Did 1 damage.
And then went into movement in hero phase. Shooting wasn't too eventful.
Get to the main story.
The main story here was that Morathi got into the Staggy.
That's right.
And we put all the buffs on Morathi. She did Titanic duel. So for the +1, she had -1 to hit before, so that negated that.
Yep. Go shouty at your birthday.
And Steggy failed the roar, so I was able to get the Gur command ability off to make her fight at top profile.
Yep.
So with the 8 attacks with Mind Razor, her finest hour, she was able to more than handle most of the Steggy except for 1 wound.
Yeah.
Meant that she failed getting the killing a
Extra
monster with the monster, and also because she's a predator, I would have killed your predator
With the
predator.
Yeah.
Ended up I had to do it with Tiny Morathi,
Yeah.
which meant that I didn't kill a predator with a predator.
Yeah.
At this point, Morathi didn't take any wounds this turn.
Yeah.
I'm sitting comfy at 4.
Yep.
Morathi's going to be around at least until turn 4,
Which is
so
huge.
which is really huge.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm not unhappy about how that turn went, and we got a good strategic.
You're still in a good spot. You still have a lot of things
Space.
that do damage on the board, and I know playing against this, it's like you got to get that clock going. So with Morathi, you want to do 3, like, and I put through a lot of mortals, but you made some of the 6s, your 6-up ward as well. Like, you don't think about it too much, but those are huge. If you don't do the wounds early on against Morathi, then
She's going to be a menace.
Yeah. Which I guess everyone obviously knows that, but yeah, this is a good example of it happening here.
For scoring, I'll score 1, score 2, score more.
Yep.
My battle tactic was to kill a monster, so I'll score 2 points.
Yep. And then
killing the monster is another point.
Yeah, you're right.
So that'll be 6 points.
You're gonna put up 6. So we got a tie game.
So we got a tie game going in turn 3. That's how we like it.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
This is also interesting because now these aren't primary. So
so yes, whoever wins this, there's going to be some burning.
The bottom is going to get to burn. So
all right,
I'm going back to the orange die. I dropped it on my skinks, but now it deserves a 6.
And it's a 5.
It's a
for
1.
Me and a 1 for Ridge.
Up to you, my friend.
So I'm going to take it at this point.
Absolutely,
It's got to be the move. And we'll go into
I'm going to burning
first.
Yeah. So I will burn, the middle one. Yeah. Don't think it'll matter, really. But yeah, I'm going to burn the middle one. And then, we're going to go into Daughters of Khaine, top of 3.
All right.
The Daughters of Khaine battle tactic is broken ranks. The Shadow Queen fails heroic leadership, and the Slann heals 3 from heroic recovery. The Bloodstalkers use Rally and return 1 model. Morathi fails to cast Mind Razor. Morathi uses Worship through Bloodshed, allowing the Shadow Queen to attack in the hero phase and kill the Skinks. Morathi miscasts Black Horror of Ilgu and takes 3 wounds. The Medusa casts Enfeebling Foe, but is unbound by the Slann. In the movement phase, the Skinks use Redeploy and move 3 inches. In the shooting phase, the Bloodstalkers deal 1 wound to the Knight Azyros. The Shadow Queen fails to deal any damage. At the end of the charge phase, the Shadow Queen stomps, dealing 2 mortal wounds to the Skinks. In the combat phase, the Knight Azyros uses all-out defense, and the Blood Sisters deal 3 damage to him. The Knight Azyros attacks back and kills a Blood Sister. The Shadow Queen kills the Skink Priest and deals 3 wounds to the Star Priest, leaving him with 1 remaining. At the end of the combat phase, the Blood Sisters use Turned to Crystal to finish off the Knight Azyros. The Daughters of Khaine hold one objective and achieve their battle tactic with a monster to score 4 points.
Top of turn 3, Daughters of Khaine, and
some wild stuff happened.
Some wild stuff. So my battle tactic was to kill the battle line, and Ridge had a unit of 10 or 6 remaining skinks in combat with Morathi, which she killed using her hero phase combat ability. I finally returned one of the bow snakes with my rally, so back in the game. Other than that, no other hero phase stuff really impacting. Morathi Shadow Queen failed a 6-inch charge after Ridge did a 3-inch redeploy, which was huge.
Yeah. So you came outside 3. I redeployed, rolled a 3. So it was your 6-inch charge.
Yeah.
You rolled a 2 and a 3 for your charge with no way to reroll the 1. Obviously, it's.
And I was out of CP at this point from the rally and the hero phase combat. So did that. I charged into the skinks instead.
Yeah.
Was able to kill the skinks with the stomp and some of the attacks, and I killed the 4-wound character, but I didn't kill your.
You allocated the Heartrender and
the Heartrender to the 5-wound
Star Priest.
But
you biffed a few of the rolls because the -1 was still from Blazing Starlight from the Star Priest because of the double.
Yeah, and so left him alive with 1 wound.
Yeah.
And was able to finish off the Azeros. But one key thing to note here: he killed only dealt 1 wound on my snakes because I got 2 good saves. But then I piled in a silly way where I left the model with 1 wound in the middle, and it broke my own coherency. But it's worth just always being a little bit careful with, because it happens.
Yeah.
And that's how the game goes. But I could still bring them back maybe with a rally, and Morathi's hanging around even though she's getting towards her last legs. So at this point, I'm going to score 1 for this objective.
Yep.
I'm going to score 2 for my battle tactic.
Yep.
And
you're going to get 1.
And if
an extra 1 because you did it with a monster.
And
you killed the
battle line with a monster.
Ranked with monster, so
I'm going to get 4 points.
Yep.
Putting me up to 15 to 11.
Yep.
And it's a real close one going into bottom of turn 3 for Seraphon.
That's right, yeah.
The Seraphon battle tactic is Savage Spearhead. Morathi-Khaine fails heroic leadership, and the Star Priest heals 2 from heroic recovery. The Bloodstalkers use Rally and return 2 models. The Slann generates 3 Celestial Conjuration points and withholds a spell for 1 more. The active asterism is the Hunter's Steed. The Slann fails to cast Celestial Equilibrium and then casts Arcane Bolt. The Slann draws on the cogs to cast Comet's Call, but is unbound by Morathi-Khaine. The Skink Starseer casts Control Fate, but is unbound. The Skink Star Priest fails to cast Hand of Glory. At the start of the movement phase, the Slann releases the Arcane Bolt, dealing 1 mortal wound to the Shadow Queen. At the end of the movement phase, the Star Priest teleports using Lords of Space and Time. The Skink uses all-out attack and shoots at the Shadow Queen, dealing 2 wounds and leaving her with only 2 remaining. In the charge phase, the Skink Starseer uses his Astromancer's staff on the Skinks. In the combat phase, the skinks use all-out attack but only kill one blood sister. The blood sisters attack back, killing 6 skinks. In the battle shock phase, 2 more skinks flee from the battle. The Seraphon hold 1 objective and complete their battle tactic for 3 points.
All right, so super interesting turn here. So, had a crazy. We're going through the battle tactics. Pretty much Savage Spearhead was, I think, the only one I could have got. I could have teleported everything over here. Went for Conquer, but I need to pretty much deal with, because I didn't do enough to Morathi early on. I needed to do 3 wounds, at least 2. So I put her at 9. She's at 10 now, so that if I get the priority, I can kill Morathi in my turn. But battle tactic wise, I was able to get Savage Spearhead because I was able to teleport my Star Priest out of combat with Morathi over here at the end of the movement phase, move up the 30 skinks, shoot, kill, did the rest of the wounds to Morathi, and then 3d6 charge from the Starseer. So again, Starseer 3d6 charge has been
unreal.
So good in situations like this, because it's such a big territory that you have. I was able to get the 3d6 charge. I don't think I rolled like an 8 or something, and I didn't want to re-roll it because if I would have rolled a 4 or a 3 or a 5, I would have freaked out. So I took the 8 plus 1 for my constellation, got my 2 units in your territory for my battle tactic for 2, and then I'm going to get my 1 because I hold this 1.
So that'll be 3 points.
So I'm going to get 3, and then
you up to 14 to my 15. Going into turn 4, where you can potentially kill Morathi.
Was the plan if I get the double here. Super stink. Absolutely flubbed with the 30 skinks. Or sorry, you just made a billion 5
I made 8 5+ saves out of 10.
Out of 10, yeah.
Which was crazy. So I only lost the 1 blood sister, which was huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And again, because they didn't have the mortals in addition or anything like that, it was just
But you have the Star Priest over here, so now it's going to be grim things.
I've positioned the Star Priest so that if I get turned, they're wholly within 12, so they'll get the Serpent Staff, and all the goodness will happen. So what do I do here? So I rolled the orange one first, I rolled the 6, then I switched then I rolled the orange one again, and then I rolled the 1.
You're overthinking it, Ridge. You're overthinking it.
I'm going back to the new die.
All right, here we go. 6.
2. Ah, yes! Sorry, Grumdy, the hats don't work.
All right, we'll go into Daughters of Khaine, turn 4.
The Daughters of Khaine battle tactic is Monstrous Takeover. Morathi-Khaine fails heroic leadership, and the Star Priest heals 1 from heroic recovery. The Bloodstalkers use Rally and return 1 model. Morathi fails to cast Mind Razor. Morathi fails to cast Black Horror of Ilgu. Morathi casts Mystic Shield onto the Shadow Queen. The Medusa casts Enfeebling Foe onto the Saurus Guard. Morathi-Khaine uses Worship through Bloodshed, allowing the Blood Sisters to attack in the hero phase, and they kill 7 skinks. In the movement phase, the Skink Starseer uses Redeploy, moving 6 inches. In the shooting phase, the Bloodstalkers kill 8 skinks. The Shadow Queen then shoots into the skinks, killing 6 more. In the combat phase, the Blood Sisters finish off the skinks. The Daughters of Khaine hold 2 objectives, complete their battle tactic, and also kill a Predator unit with a Predator, scoring 6 points.
All right, so top of turn 4, Daughters of Khaine, and we were able to pull off the battle tactics. So Nothing eventful in the hero phase other than I got a Mystic Shield off. Did a rally and brought back one bow snake, which did help because they ended up doing a fair bit. And I used my other CP to have the snakes fight in the hero phase.
Yeah.
It's turn 4 now, so I'm getting rerolls on the ones in the wounds as well as the hits. So quite reliable. Was able to clear out a number of the skinks, and then between the shooting phase of the bow snakes shooting into the skinks, and then Morathi with her gaze actually shot into the skinks.
In the combat, didn't matter. They're glass. Like it's 6-up saves. So yeah, they were so handily dead.
Took them out, and really the last debating point here was, do I charge Morathi into the Starseer, which talked it out, and it makes no sense.
Pussy!
Yeah, no, I like it. It seemed like fun, but he's got a shooting attack.
Yeah.
And the stand and shoot is scary enough.
It's hilarious that
it could end Morathi, and that would be a more than 4-point swing. So, I mean, Morathi's probably up on the chopping block, but at this point, I think that gives
that's
a good stage to go to the end of the game here. So I'll score 1, score 2, score more.
Yep.
I have my battle tactic for 2, which was claim that objective with a monster.
Contest with a monster.
And for the Predator, my Predator unit killed the Predator unit of Skinks, and that'll be 6.
So you're gonna get 6.
So I will be up to 21, and to 14.
Yep. Okay, so there are a couple plays that I can definitely do here still. Obviously, hugely banking on if I kill Morathi. So we'll still finish it out for sure. So it'll be Seraphon bottom of turn 4.
All right.
The Seraphon battle tactic is bring it down. The Skink Starseer uses in their finest hour, and Morathi fails heroic leadership. The Slann generates 2 additional command points. The Slann generates 2 celestial conjuration points and withholds a spell for another 2. The active asterism is the Hunter's Steed. The Blood Sisters use Rally and return 1 model. The Slann casts Celestial Equilibrium. The Skink Starseer then casts Arcane Bolt. The Slann casts Comet's Call, but is unbound by Morathi. At the end of the movement phase, the Slann teleports using Lords of Space and Time. The Skink Starseer uses all-out attack and shoots at the Shadow Queen, but misses. The Skink Star Priest shoots at the Shadow Queen, but also misses. At the start of the combat phase, the Skink Starseer releases the Arcane Bolt, dealing 2 mortal wounds and taking down the Shadow Queen. The Saurus Guard uses all-out attack and deals 1 damage. The Bloodstalkers fight back but deal no damage. The Slann kills 1 Bloodstalker. The Seraphon hold 1 objective, achieve their battle tactic, and kill a monster to score 4 points.
Alright, so this has been a wild game. Essentially what happened is I failed Comet, needed to kill Morathi. I cast Arcane Bolt, just in case that if I didn't actually kill her with the Comet, I was able to charge in the Starseer, and at the start of the combat, release the Arcane Bolt and do the last 2 wounds, which is exactly what happened. So, Starseer did his job. I teleported, I moved up the Saurus, so I needed to try to take this point. My battle tactic was kill the monster, so obviously that was part of the plan as well. Extra point for that. So I am going to get, well, I guess
score a point.
I'm going to score
your
the
battle
point,
tactic,
my battle tactic,
and kill a monster. So you got 4.
So I'm going to get 4. I wasn't able to get this point. I teleported the Slann, made the 9-inch charge, got their 9-inch charge as well. Whatever. Bunch of dice happened.
Enfeebling foe, so they are -1 to wound, which I think is quite...
It made 3 not go through. You made 3 6s on, I think, one of the saves.
Yeah.
So a lot of different things could have happened, but whatever. That didn't happen. This has been not the game. So this is actually still going to matter, because if I win priority here, there's a few plays that I can, like, yeah.
Yep, so going into turn 5.
Turn 5.
6.
Another one. It's this. Is it this side of the?
It might be the hat.
Oh,
I think
God.
it's the hat meta.
All right.
Jumping off ship on the hat meta, apparently.
Well, I think with that, you can just retreat them out.
I'll
charge
I'll
the
move
Star
on to
Seer.
the point here. I'll retreat out. That'll be hold 1, hold 2, hold more. That'll put me up 3 points.
You're gonna do
we already determined that the max that Ridge can get is 5 points.
Even shooting in the hero phase 2 to kill whatever they have there, there's no possible way that I can win. I needed to win priority there for sure.
So having won the priority roll, my turn would just go moving my Blood Sisters onto the objective.
Yep.
I would move my Blood Stalkers out of combat,
retreat.
but still on the objective, so retreating out.
Yep.
I'll then score 1, score 2, score more.
Yep.
I had
aggressive expansion for
to
hold
the
2.
2 objectives, which
So
will give
you're
me
gonna
the other
score-
2,
you'll
which
score-
is 5 points, putting me up to 26 points.
And that's
8 points ahead of Ridge at this point. So the max we figured Ridge can score is 5 points.
Yeah. Even with that, just because you're denied that, like there's no way that I'd be able to score that much. But yeah, it was insane at the very end.
A nail biter.
Yeah.
And it came down to turn 5 priority.
Yeah. 4 and 5. If I'd have won one of those.
One of those, it would have been a different one.
Just looking over the whole game, it was super fun. I made just dumb mistakes, obviously, at the beginning, as I said in, I think, turn 2 and turn 3, just throwing the sallies around and just putting things into positions that it didn't need to be. I just wasn't thinking so much about the bows being able to unleash hell, and then if I don't kill anything, just rally, and you know what I mean? All of those things together are great, but I just get sometimes with especially Dracothian's Tail and some of these like very, very strong lists that can do a lot of damage, I'll go a little too early, and then if you can get hit back, and that's my take from
for sure
my half of the.
And I think like the counter to that is I think that like bow snakes, you always saw them in either 20s or 15s.
15's a lot, yeah.
15's a lot now because that's as big as you can do, but I still think 10 is more optimal at this point because it's just the points investment is lower. Maybe 15 if you're running a Hagnar build with the Cauldron and the ability to give them the 5-up after save, so it's a 4-up, 5-up.
Yeah,
that can be pretty tanky.
I disagree. I still think 15 is the number.
But yeah, I mean, they had a good role in this, and I think each unit was fairly balanced. And
I do like the Calibron, like being able to teleport them around is super good. It does cost a CP, so you are a little CP hungry, but again, the -1 to shooting against Seraphon in this list in particular was devastating. So obviously I biffed a lot of the rolls in turn 1, turn 2. Minus the hit against the shooting army, it definitely hurt.
Yeah.
But again, I just got too aggressive, and I got too,
But Ridge, that was a real fun one.
It was, man. That was crazy.
Thank you for the game.
It's pretty late here, but we're
well worth it.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it. So yeah, we're pretty much going to wrap it up here. So again, thanks everybody for
especially our premium members. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much helping the channel. Just it's great. If you can't help with supporting with the premium members, still always just amazing. Just liking and sharing, telling other people in the community. All of that stuff helps. So yeah, that's pretty much just going to be it for us here. So thanks everybody, and have a good week.
See you on another battle report.